right. Alex, are you ready for a very spooky episode of Deep Cuts?
I mean, I guess. I hope. We'll see.
All right. Hello and welcome to Deep Cuts the Game, the movie trivia podcast where I give my three guests three movies and they try to come up with the most random, obscure, or minor actors from those films. The deeper the cut, the more points they get. I'm your host, Jeff Penn, and with me as always, the guy who would like to make Halloween a national holiday, Alex Young.
I mean, honestly, it's criminal that it's not. Let's be honest.
I mean, I know, I enjoy Halloween too, and especially for the kids and stuff like that. I wish, instead of it being on the 31st, can we not just make it like the last Friday of every October? Like,
I mean, I guess, but there's something special about it being the 31st, because that's
it
what
is.
Halloween is, Jeff.
But it's not as special when it's on a Tuesday and it's rainy. And
Listen,
you're like,
you're gonna give me a Tuesday off in the middle of the week? It's a short week.
That's only if it's a national holiday, Alex. I'm thinking if it's just
saying.
Okay. Well, that's not going to happen, Alex. Have you ever seen the clip of the guy who really hates like Halloween and he can't pronounce the word pumpkin? He calls it a pumpkin, like Punkin, and he says pumpkin so many times that it's the craziest thing in the world. It's like, how do you not know that it's pumpkin? And you just keep saying pumpkin.
My favorite thing on the show is when you describe YouTube videos you've seen.
Alex, I'm pretty sure that was TikTok, so go fuck yourself. Well, we have a couple guests with us tonight. We have a returning player and friend of the show, Nick Kroustis. Nick, are you wearing your Deep Cuts hoodie?
I am, and it's not my Deep Cuts hoodie. It's our Deep Cuts hoodie.
Oh, you share it? You rotate it?
Yeah, Sam's like, I was like, can I wear the Deep Cuts hoodie? She's like, well, it's our Deep Cuts hoodie. So I was like, all right, I'll wear it.
All right, yeah, fair enough. Well, glad to have you back, Nick. Our other guest, so Alex, we talked about this before, and I want to ask our guest this question especially. So they work a lot in the horror genre, and so I was trying to think of like what inspires them. Where did they get their ideas for like the kills, essentially? So I was out walking the dog, and into my brain popped, and Nick, I don't know if you remember it, but there was always this like the Faces of Death VHS tape that I never saw it. People would always talk about it. And they're like, oh, you can't watch. Oh my gosh, it's so disgusting. It's not, whatever. And there was always one story of a guy falling into an alligator pit. And I started thinking about that. And that just scared the shit out of me. Like more than anything, like just the idea of like falling into an alligator pit. Like I'd rather fight a lion than an alligator. And so I know our guest is from what they consider Northern Ontario. Like I think
there are no alligators in Northern Ontario.
I know, but I'm just wondering if his background in the Great North has influenced some of his horror ideas. I'm going to introduce him. I've got a really fun intro for him, Alex. So let's see.
Not to toot your own horn, Jeff.
This week on a special Halloween edition of Deep Cuts the Game, we're heading deep into the woods and not coming back. Our guest is Canadian filmmaker Chris Nash, the twistedly talented mind behind the film In a Violent Nature. Known for turning the slasher genre on his head, Nash is able to bring a sense of dread that lingers long after the credits roll. From his early short films to his standout segment in the ABCs of Death 2, he's carved out a unique place in modern horror. So lock your doors, check your rearview mirror, and join us in welcoming filmmaker Chris Nash. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Really appreciate it.
We're really happy to have you here. Very excited. I've watched your movie a couple times now, and I will be honest with you. I watched it the last time with my daughter, who is 20. She's not a child. And I said, hey, I'm having the director of this film on my podcast. And she's like, you can't do that. And I was like, why? She's like, no. I'm like, he's not actually killing these people, Robin. It's just a movie. But so you really had an impact on her with In a Violent Nature. Congratulations on that. So to get back to our earlier conversation now, so if I'm not mistaken, you're from Sault Ste. Marie, is that correct?
Yeah, from like Sault Ste. Marie area. I'm about half an hour outside. I grew up like around half an hour outside of the city proper. Yeah. Okay,
because I know, and it's funny, they'll say like Northern Ontario, and I don't think people understand how big Ontario is, that there's like 8 hours further north of Sault Ste. Marie. So you're like mid Ontario.
You're just north of like an hour outside of Toronto. So then it just becomes Northern Ontario.
Yeah. Anything outside of Barrie is north for us here in Toronto area.
Yeah. And it gets competitive. If you're from Thunder Bay, then like Sault Ste. Marie is in Northern Ontario. And yeah.
It's like, oh, you're Thunder Bay. Oh, well, we're Timmins. So it's like, oh, okay, well, that's
Yeah.
even, that's
Like,
even.
oh,
more
you're
than
Thunder Bay. Sorry to hear that.
I remember I went up trying to find a job in Thunder Bay when I wanted to work in radio, and the guy's like, well, you usually got to start at a smaller market. And I was like, you're fucking Thunder Bay, my friend. Where do you want me to go? Moose Jaw? Like, this is ridiculous. Needless to say, I didn't get a job there. So Chris, you have, in a violent nature especially, and I was talking to Alex about this, there are some very unique kills that will stay with you for quite a while after you watch it. Like, I don't want to spoil it anything, but there's a girl on a cliff in a violent nature, and that is like, I'll go back to that one every time I'm thinking about like running through the woods and stuff like that. So I'm just wondering, do you have an inspiration for stuff like that, or is it just, like there's one with I'm just gonna say there's a log splitter, and it's like, are you on set, and you're like, what can we use, like what would a killer use in this circumstance to kill someone?
I mean, it's more the former than the latter. Yeah, I have like a background. I'm not like a prosthetics artist at all, like the same way somebody like Steve is. But like I've worked in prosthetics before, and when you're working in prosthetics, I just found that a lot of the gags that you're told to come up with, they're like so similar, and it just gets very, very boring. And so one of the things when we were conceiving the film was just, how do you take these further? What's something that I haven't seen before? So that's really just all the inspiration is just, what haven't I seen before, or what can I use in an unexpected way? For the one on the cliff, it was really just, we've got these hooks. How do you really make these hooks work in a way that they haven't before?
Yeah, because anyone could have wrapped the chain around her neck and like pulled till her head popped off or something like that. But for anyone who hasn't seen it, it goes above and beyond what you would imagine. You're like, the first one, you're like, oh, she's dead. And it's like, nope, we're going further. And okay, he's gonna do more. Okay. There's more happening. But yeah, no, it was definitely very inventive. So, and a lot of this film, so if people are unfamiliar with In a Violent Nature, one of the parts of it is that it really follows the killer. It is much more based on what the killer's doing on his day-to-day while he is hunting these campers. Now, I was just wondering, like, if you could go back and pick a movie, a horror film of, that you've watched growing up, do you think there's a horror film that would lend itself well to that sort of filmmaking? Like, if you could go back and follow a different killer in their film, do you have any ideas?
I mean, rather than just being inspired by something like Friday the 13th, or
I mean, yeah, you can like, listen, like, I mean,
this is an easy to replicate movie. We could do this with everybody.
Oh yeah,
Freddy, whatever.
Yeah, because it would be interesting to see what's Freddy doing when the kids are at school awake all day, and he's just like, he can only sharpen. Because I did start watching Friday the 13th the other day, and it opens with him in like his place sharpening his nail claws, and I was like, does he need? It's a dream. You don't need to physically do that, Freddy. You don't actually have to have a workshop. You can just dream it, for Christ's sakes. But yeah, so who would you want to follow around with your camera for a day and see what they're up to?
I'm kind of partial to like the actual like monster, like creature type horror. So I don't know, somebody maybe like Pumpkinhead, or maybe like, I just really anybody that has to like work to get where they're going, I guess. And not just manifest. They'd be the ones that'd be more interesting to me.
Yeah, I wonder, how does Pumpkinhead get around? Like, it's got to be awkward to drive a car.
It's the same thing as like, when you just find yourself just watching some guy dig a hole on YouTube, and you're just wondering like, what's that hole going to turn into? He still keeps digging. That's kind of the horror equivalent to that. That's what I'd be going for.
And you wouldn't want to do something like The Ring, where it's like 85 minutes of just this woman in a well,
Just
just
waiting
going
there. Just
a
waiting.
day of the week calendar until you get down to 7. She's like, all right,
Yeah.
action time for 5 minutes.
Okay, so I was going to ask you, obviously you've been influenced by horror and horror films. I'm going to give you the opportunity. We're going to put you in a remote cabin with 3 horror directors, living or dead. Who would you want to like kind of bend their ear to kind of see what made them tick?
It's a really, really specific and good question. I
You could have just said really good question. It didn't.
you're right. I probably could have.
That's okay.
That's okay. You don't have to lie to him. It's fine.
I don't know. I probably Sam Raimi for sure. Thrown in there. He's like the Evil Dead films definitely were just very, very inspirational for me. And then Cronenberg and who else? Who else would be a great one? Maybe no, sorry. I'm getting really, really in my head and I'm trying to say something academic. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm trying to trying to be too smart for my own good. Maybe Brian Yuzna.
Okay.
Something like him. I'm just a director of like Society and Return of the Living Dead 3.
I did watch Society on Criterion like 2 years ago, and that is such a weird movie. Like,
Yeah.
just Alex, have you seen
also-
Society?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's interesting to say the least. Like, just
Yeah.
body horror. Yeah.
Beyond anything else, I think that they'd be like just probably 3 interesting directors to have in a room, just spitballing back and forth.
All right, what else we got here? Okay, so Alex and I were talking about your film today, and like outside of it being very creative with its kills and stuff like that, it is also very nice looking. Whether it's I'm not quite where you shot it, if it was Northern Ontario or even just like Muskoka or something like that, but it's beautiful. The shots are beautiful. Are there times when you're like doing the storyboard for like, okay, we're gonna have Amber's gonna be running here, and then we're gonna like cut her head off with this? Like sometimes when you're coming up with the shots, you're like, this is really too pretty for what we're about to do to this poor character in this film. Like, do you ever find yourself wondering like, man, this might be a better shot for like a nice rom-com where the couples get together, but like we're gonna but that's also kind of the fun of it, right?
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal, was to just have like look for from where we were, look for the most like beautiful vistas and landscapes we could, and just really try to just have that counterbalance between what we're seeing happen to the characters and where they are, and that push and pull of the beauty of nature and like the disgust of of humanity, I guess.
Yeah. I almost feel like there's a calendar in the works there, like where it's like beautiful scenery, but then also like a killer running through the woods, just chopping some woman in half. But
No, it really does feel like
Yeah.
some sort of Etsy artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like those guys who buy the old paintings and then they redo them with like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in them instead. And that's what you've done. You've taken this beautiful landscape and then like bloodied it up. All right, what else? Okay, so we did mention before the start of the show, you are currently, it sounds like you're writing, or are you in progress on In a Violent Nature too? Like you don't have
Yeah, we're currently like in production on it right now.
Okay, so is this prequel or sequel?
It's just 2.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, do we in the first one, do we blame the person who put the necklace just dangling from a tree branch? Like, is that not the person who's responsible for all this? Like, they could have buried it, because it could have been easily taken by like a curious crow that would have just set everything off. Like, that's the movie I want to see, is like the crow is being hunted by this killer kind of thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, there's a lot of conveniences you have to wrestle with.
That's all right. It wasn't until I watched it the second time and I was like, man, they really should have buried that necklace. A lot of hassle would have been saved if it was in a nice little box under the ground.
But
But
then there
that's
wouldn't
me.
be a movie, Jeff. What are you
I
talking
know,
about?
Alex.
Get outta
This
here.
this show should just be called nitpicking with Jeff.
Ugh, it's your favorite thing. It drives me crazy.
It is. It is. Mr. Young, do you got any questions?
Yeah, I was actually curious because it is shot so remotely, and we're dealing with all the body horror and the practical effects, that kind of thing. I was curious what some of the biggest challenges that you encountered during production.
Actually, the biggest challenge, it's pretty ridiculous, but it was just black flies and mosquitoes. We were very, very far remote. Sometimes I just had it in my head that that we have to feel how remote we are in order for the whole mood to work. Which is just like, rather than pointing the camera in another direction.
Yeah, we can just turn the camera around. It's like, no,
Yeah,
we got to go
no.
10 miles out. Yeah.
Exactly. So some of the places, for instance, the clip shot we did, that was about 45 minutes outside of Sault Ste. Marie to like this small community hall, and then another 15-20 minutes out from that, just in the thick of the woods. So yeah, mosquitoes and black flies were like the biggest thing.
And
I was pretty okay with it,
yeah.
but
And
a
I
lot
gotta
of
imagine, like, yeah, the crew, they
Yeah.
got to be attracted to like sweat, and like I know they're even attracted to like your breath and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So the more people, the more bugs, and then I'm sure there's people with like fake blood on them and stuff like that, and they're like, this is just the worst ever. But that's all right.
So, follow-up question: did all the black flies inspire the use of the song over the credits, or was that already intentional?
I mean, it was very convenient. We were really wrestling with what would be like a great piece of credit music. We wanted something like upbeat and folky to begin with, and then we were searching through. One of the things that we wanted originally was Loudon Wainwright's "The Swimming Song," but we just found out that I think Paul McCartney owns his entire catalog or something like
you
that.
can't
So
afford
it was
that.
all
Nobody can afford
top
that.
dog. Yeah. And then our music supervisor was showing us other pieces of music, and one of them was the Logjammer's Waltz, and that just got me thinking of the cartoon, watching the cartoon in school, and the person who wrote the Logjammer's Waltz also wrote Black Fly, and I remember watching that on an old compilation tape of NFB animations, and I loved it. Stuck in my head since I was a kid. So yeah, so then we pursued that one and found a great rendition of it. So
Nice.
It's a perfect choice. Yeah, I feel like it buttoned up that movie excellently.
All right, so this one's a little bit more of a broad, generalized question. So you're obviously familiar with lots of horror films and stuff like that. Is there any like horror tropes that that you're never going to get sick of? Like oh, the virgin's going to survive or something like that. Like, is there something that you're like, these are timeless, we can use them forever? Or is there maybe one that you want to point out that like, this is done, we should move on from this kind of horror trope? I know it's kind of a weird, awkward question with no time to think about it, but don't worry, I'll edit out any time that you spend thinking about it.
I kind of feel it depends on like how you use the tropes.
Okay.
Like I really look at tropes and not just in horror, but like in cinema as general, as like you should really take advantage of the fact that these are well-established things that you do not have to waste any time working on and building up any backstory for. And we really leaned into that for In a Violent Nature, where we just, all the slasher movies before us kind of set the framework for the tropes we were using, especially within the characters. So you'd be able to like instantly know like, oh, this is kind of like the brooding good guy, and this is like the asshole boyfriend, and this is the final girl, just within like the first line or two. I think like other people, like Kostansky is another person who I think does this incredibly well, where you just kind of know right away who the characters are, and then he builds on those backstories, but he really uses tropes as tools to move a story into another direction. So I think they're all really useful, and I think I'm happy they exist. But use them for something. Don't just like use them as the trope and live in it, I guess.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like that scene around the fire where they're talking and telling the story, like you pretty much know who every character is by the end of that, right? Like you don't need to like, oh, and like, she's still in school and like her mom's. I'm like, I don't need all
Yeah.
that information to tell me who she is. You told it perfectly in like that kind of like 7-minute scene. I was gonna say that the thing I hate in horror movies, Alex, it's not necessarily a trope, but just, and I've seen it twice in the past 2 weeks, is when someone who's not like the necessarily the star or the hero of the film will drive through the wall of a building, killing the bad guys, even though they had no idea other people on the other side of the wall.
That's hyper specific.
It's Lost Boys when the grandpa drives through the house at the very end, and it's like, how did he even know there was vampires in the house? And then
they're all over Santa Clarita, man.
I know, but does he just do that every night? Like, I think it would have been more funny if Grandpa was drunk from his date with the widow Johnson and just like crashed through the house accidentally. But then they also used it in Clown in a Cornfield, where the dad crashes through the barn and kills like 3 clowns. And I was like, well, it's a good thing his kid wasn't standing there because, you know, it's just, you know. Anyway, we've got a game of deep cuts to play. And I know our guest is a little nervous about it because he's afraid about luck of the draw. But hopefully we've picked 3 movies that he's going to be well acquainted with. But the first thing we need to do is we play a little game called the IMDb Known For. So I'm going to give you all, I'm not even going to say an actor at this point because it's not an actor. And you're going to try to tell me what thing they are best known for on their IMDb. So the king of horror, Stephen King. So think about that for a minute. And Chris, I'm going to ask you first, what do you think Stephen King's known for number 1 is on IMDb?
Number 1 on IMDb, it's going to be the Andy Muschietti It, Chapter 1.
All right. I would take any It's, but you're going with It, Chapter 1. Nick, what's your Stephen King best known for?
I don't know if I want to go horror with this. I'm going to say Pet Sematary, but I don't think it's going to be horror.
Interesting direction you went there, Nick. Alex Young, what's your Stephen King known for?
I agree with Nick that I don't think it's horror. I think it's Shawshank.
All right. Well, I will tell you this. Only one of you scored, and it's not the number 1. So I didn't want to tell you this. His list is weird because he acts occasionally. He's also directed.
So is Maximum Overdrive?
Maximum Overdrive is his number 1.
Amazing.
Number 2 is Creepshow.
Fair enough.
Because I think he's got a big role in one of the segments of it. He probably also produced it. Number 3, I don't know why this is on his list at all, but it's Sleepwalkers. And then number 4 is Shawshank.
Wow.
But I think we could all be like, it should be maybe like Shawshank, Green Mile, Stand By Me, and It.
Maximum Overdrive.
And Maximum Overdrive. Or The Shining or something, or The Stand or something like that. But Alex, where would you like to go? Would you like to go 1, 2, or 3?
I'll go 3rd.
Alex in at his number 3 spot. I feel like It should have been on the list. So Chris, would you like to go 1st or 2nd?
I'll go 2.
Who's at number 2? Putting Nick on the spot at number 1. So your 3 movies for tonight are from 1999, Idle Hands.
I'm going to write it down.
Seeing a lot of people shaking heads or just, yep. From 2007, Planet Terror.
Jesus Christ.
And from 2013, where this would get in people who aren't the horror fans necessarily, This Is the End.
Oh, shit.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought you were saying This Is Us, and I'm like, the whole show?
The whole show, Alex. Every cameo, every guest star. So it is Idle Hands, Planet Terror, This Is the End. While you're jotting down some names, let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Welcome to Haven't Seen It, a movie podcast hosted by Tim Sestito and Tommy Tevenet. One of these hosts hasn't seen the movie, and they're going to talk about it. Expect great insight,
Tim's really testing my commitment to the podcast by making me watch The Godfather.
witty banter,
I like RoboCop shooting dicks, I guess.
and lots of laughs. Haven't Seen It. Available on Apple, Spotify, and all other major podcast platforms.
All right, we are back with Deep Cuts the Game. We have Chris, Nick, Alex. The movies are Idle Hands, Planet Terror, This Is Us. I'm sure one of our loyal listeners, Kevin Watson, is listening at home going, I haven't seen any of those, which he says to me every week, no matter what the movies are. It could be like Indiana Jones, and he'd be like, I haven't seen it. He's like, I saw the second one, but I haven't seen the first one. All right, Nick, you're up first. What is your deepest cut?
I don't know if it's the deepest, but I feel like This Is the End has so many people in it. So if you can get like a small cameo, that might be worth a lot of points. So I'm going to go for the GIMP, Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. Yeah. He is definitely in it.
He's
Alex.
a GIMP.
Someone makes him his bitch at the end of the movie.
I don't remember that at all.
It's actually very disgusting. Just poor, you kind of feel really bad for Channing, and I believe he gives him a really gross nickname. He's worth 8 points because he's not in it a lot, but he is Channing Tatum, so 8
Fair
points. Nick.
So I'll tell you, This Is the End. I 100% was.
Did you think it was a different movie?
Yes.
What movie did you think it was?
The World's End.
Oh, that's a different
I was
movie
giving you a
entirely.
list of British actors.
No.
I was working through it. Oh,
No,
this
is the end that has like 27
So
A-list
no points
Hollywood.
for Patty Constantine. I'm like,
None
crossing
for
that
that.
out. Shit.
All right. You got time, Alex. You've got Chris, so it's Chris's pick now. Start making a new list, Alex.
I am.
I like that Alex is like, who was Channing Tatum in The World's End? He shows up to fight aliens at the end? Like, come on. Chris Nash, you're on the clock. What's your first deep cut?
Okay. I'm not gonna play it safe. First off, I don't even know if she's actually in this because I know one person from Idle Hands that I'm sure of. But just to make a connection, I'm assuming the Planet Terror trailer is Machete, and I will go Jessica Alba in the Machete trailer and in Idle Hands.
She's not in the Machete trailer. I think she's in the movie.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, where's he going? And I'm like, yeah, you are right. She's obviously in Idle Hands very famously.
I don't need your pity. This is. I was right.
You know what? I will go back and double check. Like, I want to make sure I'm not right. I did not see her listed in IMDb for Planet Terror because I think she is in the Machete film.
That makes sense.
Not the trailer. So she's worth 2 points for Idle Hands because that's kind of like where she got known from, right? That's her big breakout role. Alex Young, you've got 2 in a row.
So a lot of mine are going to come from Planet Terror because I thought This Is the End was a different movie.
You can still think about that movie.
I'm working on it, but
Okay.
now it's my turn, so I need to give you some answers. And I do remember, mostly because she drove a Volvo in this movie, Fergie is in Planet Terror. A bunch of zombies eat her brain early on in that flick.
Yep. Fergie for 9 points. The first time she shows up in this movie, I was like, you know what? Fergie's a pretty good actress. Like, she's pretty good. And then the second scene with her, and I was like, oh my God, she's terrible. I'm so glad zombies are eating her brain.
She's a child actor. She was in.
She like
Monster in the Closet with a young Paul Walker.
Oh,
really?
Wow. Did she used to be on like I don't know if it was a Nickelodeon show. Was it like Kids Incorporated or something like that? Like one of those like song and dance shows. It was kind of like a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, but without that. Alex, you got Fergie. What's your second deep cut?
I think he's got a pretty big part in it. So I'm not going to be worth a ton of points. But Jeff Fahey is also in Planet Terror.
He is. His name's GT, if I'm not mistaken. What's the movie we love Jeff Fahey for, Alex?
Sketch Artist and Sketch Artist 2.
Yeah, where he's a
Courtney Cox is blind.
Yeah. Jeff Fahey, he has a barbecue joint. And it's JT's Barbecue. It's the best barbecue in Texas. He's worth 7 points, Alex. Because honestly, I probably wouldn't have known who Jeff Fahey was unless we had watched.
This movie is my touchstone for him.
Okay. So well done. Chris, we are back to you. You gave us Jessica Alba on your first cut. What's your second deep cut?
I'm going to go Michael Parks, Planet Terror.
That's a good one. He plays someone's dad. Michael Parks. He's pretty far down there. So he's 12 points for Michael Parks. Well done. Nick, you get 2 in a row.
Planet Terror. I'm going to say Tom Savini.
Solid.
Yep. He's always shown up in these things, so he is worth 8 points. Nick?
And then I'm going to kind of steal from Alex when he said Fergie. I'm going to say Rihanna for This Is the End.
Yeah. She's only worth 7 points for that one, Nick.
Fair enough.
Famously gets her ass slapped in that one. But yeah, it's a good cut. So well done. Hold on. I just want to check the Jessica Alba thing before we go any further. Just I was going to sit
here quietly while you watch the Machete trailer.
No. Just give me 1 second. Jessica Alba's best known for Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, and Machete. So I don't think she's also in Machete Kills.
Spoilers.
What year did I say this was? Planet Terror 2007? Yeah, no, she was in Knocked Up, which I don't remember that, but it says she was in Knocked Up in 2007. So there you go. Chris, we're back to you. You came back strong with Michael Parks. You got Jessica Alba. What's your third deep cut?
I'm going to go Danny McBride, and This Is the End.
Mm-hmm. Danny McBride, kind of the fifth member. Is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4? Well, he's the sixth member of that group kind of thing. So he's worth 5 points. Years ago, he probably would have been worth more points, but he's kind of become a big deal even, right? Like, does he do horror films too? Is he part of the Halloween?
He wrote them with David Gordon Green. Yeah.
Yeah. So well done, Danny McBride. Alex, let's get your third deep cut and we'll give you guys a midway point breakdown.
So now that I know which one This Is the End is, I'll take Emma Watson.
But you're still kind of fishing in the shallow end there, Alex. I would not say Emma Watson's a deep cut.
Yeah, I've seen it once in the theaters. I haven't seen it since.
Okay. She's worth 6 points because she's not in it as much as Danny McBride, but she is Emma Watson famous.
And it's a very famous scene.
Yes. So you have 22 points at the midway point. Nick has 23 points. And Chris has 19. So nobody is out of this game yet. You're within 4 points of each other. So well done. Alex, what's your fourth deep cut?
I want to start doing some guesses for This Is the End.
I mean, here's the thing. You can it's a pretty, you know who we're aiming at.
Is Aziz in it? Aziz Ansari?
Alex, everyone's in this fucking movie.
Everyone.
I figured.
Yeah, Aziz, I'm pretty sure falls into the pit very
I seem to remember that, yeah.
So yeah, Aziz Ansari for 9 points.
Perfect. Take it.
Chris, back to you. You've got your fourth deep cut. You're a little behind right now, but I think you can make it up with some decent cuts.
You'd think. But...
Love that confidence.
Yeah. Oof. I mean, I think I'm probably safe to just go Danny Trejo for the Machete trailer.
You're very safe going Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
So yeah. Danny Trejo for 9 points as well.
Very good.
Nick, you know who I think would have done well at this one? I think you should ask Sam how she.
I will.
I feel like she knows Idle Hands really well for some reason, and she would This Is the End. She would just be dropping every cameo there is. But right now, you're on the hook. What's your fourth deep cut?
So I'm in a little bit of a conundrum. It's a lesson learned from the first episode where Sam named a band instead of individual members.
She did.
But if I name individual members, I'm going to give Alex points, and I don't want to give Alex points.
The question is, will Alex know the other band members?
That's true.
We went to Vegas to see them live. So I'm going to say the Backstreet Boys.
You're just taking the whole Backstreet Boys off the... Okay, fair enough.
I'm not giving you 2 members of the Backstreet Boys.
That's true. I could have done it.
Because, Nick, I feel like you should have taken 2 and guaranteed yourself those points.
Yes. That's where I was torn. But then Alex names the other 2, and then maybe Chris names
and then
them.
It's like
I get the 5th one, and I didn't want to do that.
All right. So the Backstreet Boys as a whole are worth 12 points. So it was the smart call. So you're taking Nick Carter, Howie Doro, Brian Luttrell, AJ Richardson, and Kevin Scott, whatever his last name is, off the board.
Thomas.
I wrote down Richardson, but I'm like, is there 2 guys named Richardson in that band? I don't know. But there's definitely AJ and Kevin. So 12 points for the Backstreet Boys for Nick. Nick, what is your fifth deep cut?
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis from Planet
Planet
Terror. He's in the opening and then doesn't show up until the very end. So he's worth 5 points, though. Nick, well done. Chris, would you have known any of the Backstreet Boys names in that one, or is that?
I don't even know what movie they were in.
They're in the very end of This Is the End when they go to heaven, and they're like, anything can happen here, and the character's like, all right, and the Backstreet Boys come out and start performing for everyone. It's a nice way to finish a movie that is really sad. Not sad in like an actual sad, but it's just like, oh, we're all going to hell. So Chris, what's your fifth deep cut?
Man, this is very embarrassing. I feel like I just don't know anybody in anything anymore. I don't even know if I know what a movie is. But I'm gonna go.
You don't have to know their names if that helps.
To be fair, you're from Sault Ste. Marie, so This Is the End probably hasn't opened there yet. Like, I think you guys are getting that next year.
Christ. He's a guest, man.
In defense of that joke, though, growing up in Coburg, we got Ray at our local theater the same day it came out on DVD. So fair enough.
Yeah, it happens.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just move to. I'm just gonna say Seth Green for Idle Hands.
For Idle Hands, yep.
It's like 2 points.
He's 4 points. He's 4 points. He's 4 points. So that's all right. Alex, you get your final 2 deep cuts.
I will say Seth Green was the only name I had written down for Idle Hands because I have seen the poster, but I have not seen the movie. Okay, I'm gonna do one from This Is the End and one from Planet Terror, and I'm gonna say Planet Terror is a guess. So This Is the End, Michael Cera. I'll take the other half of the Rihanna joke.
Yeah, you're right. Michael Cera for 6 points, Alex.
That is fine. And Shot in the Dark. Does Robert Rodriguez have a cameo in Planet Terror?
Of course he does, Alex. I think he's a soldier, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody plays a soldier in that movie. So he's worth 12 points. That's our kind of standard director cameo point total. So 12 points for Robert Rodriguez. Chris, you're having a solid game. You are well beyond the.
Don't pander to me.
No, I'm not. Like a lot of people are like,
I know what's going on here.
They're like, what's the worst score ever? You're well beyond even being in that realm. So
it's amazing how there's no comfort in that. What's the worst score ever?
You're not the worst to play this game.
No, you're not even in like the bottom 10. Like you're out of the like you won't be listed on any like
12
worst scores of the year. You know, you're doing good. So, and if you get one more, you like honestly, we've talked about putting points up in every round, and that's what you've done so far. So, if you can put up a little bit more points,
even that just seems like such a like
too high pressure.
Come on. Man, I am just going straight. Just mind blanking here. I'm just gonna say Josh Brolin. I've got no clue.
Yep, the evil doctor, Josh Brolin for 3 points.
I totally forgot he was in. I'm assuming Planet Terror.
Planet Terror.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's not bad. Nick, it's your final deep cut.
I don't think he was a big actor at this point, but he's a giant actor now. For This Is the End, Kevin Hart.
Yep, Kevin Hart is another part of that ensemble. So it's the same as Aziz is Nick. Kevin Hart is worth 9 points. So before I give you the final score rundown, let's see who we missed. Okay, so Idle Hands. We only got Jessica Alba and Seth Green out of there. Vivica A. Fox is in it as the person hunting the demon hand. The person who plays the demon hand is an actor named Chris Hart. He is.
Is it not just Devon Sawa's hand?
No, but at a certain point he removes it.
What?
Yeah, he cuts it off.
Evil Dead 2 shit. I don't know.
He cuts it off, and then the hand is an actor named Chris Hart, who is a thing in all the Addams Family movies.
The hand actor.
Yeah, he's a hand actor. Let's see. We got from Alex. I know you're a big fan of Twister, but Sean Whalen is in Twister. He's also in Idle Hands. Fred Willard is Devon Sawa's dad, who he kills immediately. And this is where I thought you might be going, Nick, is Tom DeLonge from Blink-182 has a cameo in Idle Hands, as does the entire Offspring band. So if you had given me like Dexter Holland and then for some reason Ricky Martin is also in the film as Guy in Car. Kyle Gass from the Tenacious D is in it. So there was a bunch of like weird kind of like musical cameos from Planet Terror. Does anybody remember who the hero is in Planet Terror?
It's the guy from 6 Feet Under.
Yeah, Freddie Rodriguez.
Yeah, Freddie Rodriguez. Yeah. Marlee Shelton is like the other female lead. She is Josh Brolin's wife. And when you talk about body horror, she has one of the worst scenes I've ever seen. She's been Josh Brolin has like tranquilized her hands so she can't use her hands, and she's trying to open the car door, and it's one of those like old school like Oldsmobiles where it's got like the button you got to press. This. So she jams her hand down it and then is trying to open the button with her high heels on, and then slips and falls and breaks her wrist in the door handle. And I'm just like, of all the things happening in this movie, that is the thing that I was like, ooh, because that could happen. That could really happen. But yes, Michael Biehn is also in it as Jeff Fahey's brother. Naveen Andrews from Lost is in it. He's the guy that likes collecting people's testicles. Nikki Katt.
How many points for Rose McGowan?
Rose McGowan was 1 point. She's literally she's the poster.
She's the star. Yeah,
she has a machine gun on her leg. Alex. Nikki Katt is in it because he's always in these movies. Quentin Tarantino plays a rapey soldier. Cheech Marin is one of the other people in the trailer, as is Zoe Bell, because she's the stunt person. Yeah.
Yes.
This is the end. I'm not even going to go over the top people that we passed over, but Christopher Mintz-Plasse is in it. Paul Rudd, Mindy Kaling, David Krumholtz, Martin Starr, and Jason Segel are other cameos in This Is the End. But well done. The final score is Chris with 35. And then we have a two-way tie at 49 between Alex and Nick. So I would leave it to both of you if you would like to suggest a future guest.
There isn't some sort of lightning round, Jeff, that you're prepared for this eventuality? You've done like 70 episodes. You been prepared for this? Come on. Clearly not.
Sure. I'll tell you, there's one other person, and This Is the End, that I did not name. And he voices... Is it regular size Rudy on Bob's Burgers? If that helps anyone. Does anybody know who that actor is? He's from the TV show Veep.
Buster from Arrested Development?
No, his name's Brian Husky.
Oh,
all right, nobody got that. All right. Well,
you know what, Nick, you can have it. You can have the win.
Nick, Nick, you get the win. Who you taking? Nick, who's your Deep Cuts future guest, dream guest?
Dream guest. Well, first win, I offered up one member of How Did This Get Made? So let's go the other side of that and say Jason Mantzoukas.
I don't think he's got any social media. I don't think he's a social media guy.
Figure it out.
All right. Thanks, Nick. Now, Chris, our special guest, you're working on In a Violent Nature 2. You don't have to tell us when it's coming out or anything like that. But if people want to keep up to date with you and when this film's coming out, good place to find you, Instagram, someplace else?
Yeah, I'm only on Instagram for anything. But yeah, go to Instagram if you want. But
if you want,
don't expect a lot.
Do you remember what your handle is on Instagram? I think
it's Gasfire Films on Instagram. It's when you're 22 years old and you're like, I'm going to start a production company because I can get business cards off of Vistaprint and buy a GoDaddy account. Like, yeah, I'm a big Hollywood producer, and
this is what we're called, and we're going to be called this for the rest of our lives. That's perfect.
That's a good name.
Yeah, that's it.
Nick, do you have anywhere you want people to find you? Do you care? Is that something?
I'm literally on no socials. None whatsoever. I got off of everything.
I love having guests on that have no way of helping promote the show. It's my favorite part.
I can yell it out my front window if you like. Just open the door.
You would get as many
deep cuts.
Yeah, as people, that's cool. What's a podcast? I've had people say that. Like, I've had people like, where do I listen to podcasts? I'm like, I don't know, fucking everywhere. Yeah,
everywhere.
Alex Young, what's going on with you?
Not much, but you can find me at the Alex Young on Instagram, Letterboxd, Blue Sky. It's the same handle on everything. PlayStation, Goodreads, whatever. I'm around. I'm not interesting, but you can find me.
Okay. All right, and this is the part of the show where Alex sends me an outro that I get to read. He did give me a little bit of a note earlier.
Yeah,
today.
I have a specific pronunciation in the first line. I'll make sure you got right because it's a joke for all my 90s kids. Because this is our Halloween episode. It's essentially the last episode airs for Halloween. So I wanted you to do it in the style of R.L. Stine.
Okay.
But then I remembered, what the fuck does R.L. Stine sound like? So instead, I want you to do it in the style of Ben Stein because we know what he sounds like.
Oh my
so
God.
I still wrote it with some Goosebumps puns in it. But you're just gonna do.
You want me to do it in like a monotone Ben Stein? Like
it's very short because I don't want anybody to sit through like 7 minutes of something like and then
Bueller,
Spotify. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So you go ahead.
Okay, thanks, buddy. Listeners, beware. You're in for a very good outro. I'd like to thank our guests, Chris and Nick, for joining us in Horrorland today, and my co-host, Alex Young, who came from beneath the sink. Be sure to stalk Deep Cuts anywhere you get your podcasts and join us next week, if you dare.
Nailed it.
I forgot that it was also had R.L. Stine references in it, and I was like, what the fuck is this beneath the sink thing? That has nothing to do with Ben Stein. Anyway, everyone, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Bye.